Is having hundreds or even thousands of potential dating partners making it harder, not easier, to find the one? I'm going to tell you the brain science behind why this happens and what you can do about it. I'm also going to be telling you what the director of relationship science at Hinge says about the barriers that men and women are facing with online dating and what she has to say about your Icks. There are numerous choices for dating apps. Let me show you some of the apps that various age groups are using. So this information is from the Pew Research from 2023. Here is the graph. It looks like 79% of online dating users between ages 18 to 29 are using Tinder, whereas for people ages 50 to 64 years old, they're using Match. And we also have the stats for Bumble, OkCupid, eHarmony, Hinge, Grindr, Her, and Other. And for those of you who are wondering what Her is, it's a female-only dating app, and that is how I met my wife, so thank you to her. My name is Catherine Sloan. I'm a licensed therapist. Please hit subscribe. A majority of us would like to believe that the freedom of choice is good and more choice is always better than less, right? But psychologist Barry Schwartz argues the opposite, making the case that the abundance of choice in Western societies is actually making us miserable. And he wrote a book called The Paradox of Choice, which suggests that having too many options can lead to negative outcomes. And I want to show you why this paradox applies profoundly to online dating, where having an endless array of choices overwhelms its users. And so instead of leading to greater satisfaction, this surplus of options can make individuals question their decisions, fostering this sense of uncertainty and a perpetual search for something better. So let me give you an example from my own life. The other day, I was looking on Amazon for some vitamin D3, and I ended up with over 2,000 results. So after scrolling for 30 minutes and reviewing countless contradictory reviews and pondering all these different choices, I just started to get grumpy, so I gave up. The next day, I just called my mom and asked her to send me whatever she takes. Now, did you know that Trader Joe's is aware of this phenomenon and purposefully gives fewer options to its shoppers? They realize that for customers, limited options also eliminates decision paralysis and makes the shopping experience more enjoyable. So can you start to see how this relates to online dating? In The Paradox of Choice, Schwartz explains the steps in the process that make us less satisfied. So when we have too many options, there are 5 reasons why we end up less satisfied, and here they are. Number 1, you imagine you could have made a better choice. Number 2, you regret the decision, thinking it's not perfect. Number 3, you imagine what you didn't choose is better than what you did choose. Number 4, your expectations escalate. Number 5, you have less satisfaction with the results, even with good results. And one of the significant challenges with online dating is called analysis paralysis, which is a state where the sheer volume of choices prevents making a decision. Users will become so fixated on finding the best possible match that they hesitate to commit to any one person, leading to a cycle of endless searching. Furthermore, when choices are abundant, people tend to become more critical and dismissive of the potential matches for minor reasons, possibly called Icks. Believing there might be a better option is just a swipe away. So let's hear from Logan Uri from Hinge discuss this concept.
This is what frustrates me about modern dating. And you used the word ick before, so I know you're familiar with it. But the ick has become this trend
only because of her.
Oh, you know about it from her. Okay,
she says ick to me.
So for people listening who haven't heard of it, the ick is this new trendy word that basically means the reason why all of a sudden you're not interested in someone. And so my friend is the comedian Jared Freed, and he does hilarious bits about this. And so he travels around the country asking women for their icks. And one of them is, you're having an amazing date, you want to go home with the guy, it's time to pay the bill. You pull out your wallet and you hear, shh, he has a Velcro wallet. The ick, you're not sleeping with him. And he has these hilarious bits. One woman told him, my ick was that I was on a date with the guy and I imagined him being late for his bus and running for the bus, and I could never be with him. And Jared's like, to be clear, there was no bus and there was no running. And she's like, I just imagined it. And that's what's, the ick is hilarious. When Jared does it, it's hilarious. You're laughing at it. But I'm also like, you know what? I think we should get over the ick, because the ick is just an excuse to not get close to someone. And I found in my work that people often confuse pet peeves for deal breakers.
Then she goes on to talk about 3 different dating tendencies. And I'm going to leave a link to this podcast in the description if you want to finish this podcast. So now let's talk about the impact of expectations. Dr. Schwartz's theory also highlights how increased choices raises expectations. In online dating, users expect that with so many options available, they should be able to find a perfect match. However, this expectation often leads to disappointment when no one seems to fulfill all the expectations.
For that person, I want the ambition of my ex-girlfriend plus the hotness of this other ex-girlfriend plus the really great family of this other person, and I can just wait until I find this Frankenstein version of the perfect person. And so they're always waiting, and they have unrealistic expectations, and they're waiting for the perfect person.
So this discrepancy between expectations and reality can lower satisfaction with any choice made, as there's always the nagging thought that a better match might be out there. The grass is always greener on the other side, right? Now for some solutions. There are 3 strategies that you can employ for dating more effectively online. Number 1 is to put some effort into your profile so you actually draw to you the people that you want to match with, and hope that people who aren't for you just swipe left. The goal is actually not to get a lot of matches. Having fewer matches can actually be good, because it means you're filtering out the people who aren't for you.
Profile is telling a story. Who are you? Show us different sides of yourself. And you want to start with a clear headshot. This is what you look like. No filters, no sunglasses. I should be able to see from that first photo what you look like. You also want to have the following photos: a photo of you doing an activity that you love, a photo with you and with friends and family, show us you have a social life, and a full body picture.
You actually aren't trying to match with a lot of people, just the right people. The Pew Research shows that men get much fewer matches than women, and women are overloaded with matches. It also shows that 31% of men are wanting casual sex, compared to 13% of women. And over half of women under 50 years old report being sent a sexually explicit photo they didn't ask for. And then 63% of men under 50 believe someone was trying to scam them on these sites. So with this information, it's no wonder people are skeptical of the matches they get. So be patient with everyone out there as they navigate these apps. Number 2 is to focus on what truly matters to you. So I help all of my clients come up with a list of just 6 to 7 non-negotiables that they cannot live without. And these are things like values or personality traits that are must-haves, and everything else is negotiable. And realize you aren't going to find that perfect person. No choice is going to be without flaws. Number 3 is to focus on your own self-growth. So if you're in the dating world and on some of these apps, use this time while you're single to be very engaged in your own hobbies and start learning how to make more friends in your community. If you don't prefer dating apps and want to meet somebody more organically, then join groups where you can make friends. Even if there's nobody in this group that you want to date, they might have some friends who are single. So just get out into the world and do something. I know in my city, meetup groups are very popular, and there seems to be a meetup group for everything. There's an LGBT dodgeball league starting in April. We've got Oracles and Tea, a French conversation group, several book clubs, hiking groups, food, beer, and dogs with their humans, Asheville Tech Connect, and meetup.com is free. So just be patient with yourself and push yourself a little each week to do something different where you can enhance your life while you are single. And don't take rejection personally. Let me just summarize a little. The paradox of choice in online dating illustrates a complex dilemma where the abundance of choices, instead of leading us to greater happiness, often results in dissatisfaction and a constant questioning of our decisions. And this could be the reason why you need to take a break from the apps and just focus on yourself every now and then. It can get very overwhelming. I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you next time. Thank you.